Well, welcome, friends, to this special edition of Spotlight on Music. I'm your host, Bishop Andre Woods. And listen, I want you to know we got a very, very special show for you today, very special guest, and we want you to be a part of this conversation today. Listen, what I'd like for you to do, if you've joined us by YouTube or Facebook, then I want you to like and share, especially to all of our musical family. We want you to chime in tonight and also tag your friends. Let them know that we are here on the Fellowship of Music and Arts Facebook page. Well, we're all over Facebook. We're all over my pages, personal pages, and we want you to be a part of the conversation. Tonight, we're going to talk with a very important individual in our state, in our city, around the music scene. And this gentleman, he's going to give you some details on himself, his career, his musical career. But most important of all, I've asked him to come and to share information. He is Mr. George Troia, the president of the Detroit Federation of Musicians, local number 5. And it is my joy that he has consented to share with us information. Welcome, Mr. Troia, to the Fellowship of Music and Arts Facebook platform.
Well, thank you, Bishop. I appreciate you having me tonight.
Yes. Listen, I want you to let our audience know there's so many people that know you in the music community throughout the Detroit area and abroad. Give us a little background on your musical history and career before we talk about the Federation of Musicians.
Okay, I'll be glad to. I was born in Detroit, the old Deaconess Hospital there on Jefferson, which is not there anymore. I grew up, I graduated from Detroit Public Schools, Cass Tech High School, class of 1970. So that should tell you how old I am. I'm pretty old. I've been playing in and around Detroit and around the world for more than 50 years now. I played mostly trombone, and that's what I've been known as, trombonist. I listened to your music coming on here. I did quite a bit of recording, and I was on some gospel recordings of the Shirley Caesar and also the Staple Singers, under the direction of Johnny Allen, who was quite a Detroit talent and one of our former members. So touring, I subbed quite a bit with the Detroit Symphony. I played in the Michigan Opera Theater, and I played most of my musical career at the Fisher Theater. I was there for about 35 years. I became president of Local 5 in 2012, and I'm still president today. And I enjoy that very much, and I still perform occasionally. So, did I give you enough, or you?
Yeah, that's awesome. Well, you played with the who's who.
Oh yeah.
In Motown, and even artists that may have come in town looking for musicians. Of course, the Detroit Symphony Orchestra,
right,
and so many. The list goes on and on and on and on. Let's talk about the Detroit Federation of Musicians. And well, it's easy to become a member, but let's talk about the whole purpose of the Federation and the benefits that are offered to musicians.
Okay, well, we're a labor union, an official labor union, and we're part of the American Federation of Musicians of the United States and Canada. Excuse my phone ringing in the back.
Yeah, that's all right.
We started as a burial society in 1880, actually, and we affiliated with the AFM when they were organized in 1903. And from that time, we've represented most of the professional music that you hear and was recorded in Detroit. Going back to when the Detroit Symphony formed, they were all original members. Most of your Motown sessions were filed, and we still keep those contracts here today. from all the Motown recording sessions. I came into the scene. I came up through my dad's wedding band, but I started to record in the 70s when Motown left. And what they didn't leave were a lot of their good arrangers. They stayed here and they kept doing work. And that's when I did most of that recording work for the Four Tops, for Gladys Knight, for a lot of people, Aretha Franklin. They stayed here because they liked the Detroit sound. So what we do today is we have 7 general collective bargaining agreements that our members work under. And those are with the Detroit Symphony, the Detroit Opera, the Fisher Theater, the Fox Theater, the Detroit Opera House, which also brings in acts. And we also we have one agreement that covers 5 community orchestras. And we also have a contract with the Detroit Jazz Festival, as well as many members file their own individual contracts for single engagements here. So the benefits that they get when they file those contracts or anything that's bargained in those contracts, and for a lot of them, that's a part of the American Federation of Musicians Employers Pension Fund. So many of them do receive a pension when they get to the pensionable age, which helps them along with their Social Security and things like that. So those are some of the things we do. We also help people that are struggling during the pandemic. We have an organization that's affiliated with us that's a 501c3. It's called the Detroit Musicians Fund, where people have left us money to help musicians. So we've given grants to many of the people that were struggling or hospitalized or couldn't pay their bills because they weren't working or whatever. We helped quite a few of those people. And we're also through the AFM, we get jobs called from the Music Performance Trust Fund, and we will send groups out to nursing homes and public schools, parochial schools even, and to perform just little demonstration concerts. So we try to function 24 hours, 7 days a week in the metropolitan Detroit area. Was that?
Yeah, that's all good. Talk to us about the membership requirements and with all of these benefits. I still recall I had to bring up my buddy, the late Al McKenzie, who was really instrumental in doing some things in the gospel music community, trying to get more of our gospel musicians, church musicians involved in the union. Some of them are aware of it, but they've never become members. And we're looking at still trying to do some membership drives, because we got a lot of them now who are full-time, and that's a lot of churches have hired full-time ministers of music, and then there are those who still work another job, or they're in education, or they may teach music, but they still work at churches to be a part of the union. Now, you all have that feature, like an artist comes in town and look for musicians, they contact the union, am I right? If they want to hire.
Many times they do. Many times they do. You mentioned Al McKenzie. I miss him to this day. You know,
Yes,
he was
sir.
working very hard on that, and he also had an office in our building, which was right above my office. And I miss his playing. He would practice and teach up there too, so I miss him very much. Regarding the gospel musicians, if they file the contract on their own, they can become part of that pension fund contribution system, and we'll still work with anybody that wants to try to do that. I miss Al because he was right out there in the workplace doing that, and we really don't have a gospel person on our board right now to pursue that, but that doesn't mean we can't do it. Yeah, to your question about calling us, we have a referral agency too. If you're a member here and you go to our website, which is detroitmusicians.net, you'll see a link below that that takes you to our Detroit Musicians Entertainment. And we have a website called Live Music Detroit, and we have a referral agency, and she'll actually book the job for you and set up what you need to know and draft the contract for you. So that's another side thing that we do too for our members that are still looking for music. So we try to make it beneficial any way we can help our members. We try to do that. Okay.
Yeah. Now with being a member, you mentioned some of the major venues like Fox and Opera House, Fisher Theater, of the like. And now, do the members, say a member, if he wanted to sponsor an event at these places, and they are a member of the federation, is there any consideration as far as discounts or anything when it comes to the
I don't, each venue is kind of managed differently. So
Right.
I would guess that would open the conversation, but you'd have to talk to their booking person.
Right.
That's why, like at the Detroit Opera House, we actually have 2 contracts, and then they book a lot of outside engagements. But we have had members do that, and we've referred them there.
Yeah.
I had a member, I don't know, you talked about the gospel, another late member of ours, Donnie Lewis, who was involved with a film production. We set him up for the contract, and he did all the most of the filming work at the Detroit Opera House. So we did get him a deal there, so it helped. It helped.
Great. So what is your, now you've been the president, you say, since 2012?
Yeah, 10 years I've been president.
10 years. Wow. Now, what's the tenure of the president?
The tenure, we have 3-year terms. Okay.
Oh, wow.
And so I'm into my 4th term now.
Great.
So
Congratulations.
we have to run for re-election every 3 years. So
Oh, wow.
that's how that works.
Yeah. Well, that's a milestone. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Usually terms.
If you're getting the contracts and things, most people want you to stay in the position.
Yeah.
When you don't do it, they ask you to step aside.
Keep the work coming. Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Keep the work coming. So now with just say musicians here in our local area, because this is going abroad also to musicians, and they would have to, outside of Michigan or Detroit, contact their local in their area, because one of the features I enjoy is getting the magazine and how they keep you up on the latest this and that, and instruments and equipment, and what's going on musically in the world.
Yeah,
music.
Absolutely. Our union covers most of the United States and Canada, but we're also affiliated with a group called FIM, which is the Fédération Internationale Musicienne, which is all the European countries. And then there's a European or an Australian union too, and there's a Japan one, and we have affiliations with all those unions. So yeah, the AFM publishes monthly. You receive a monthly magazine.
Yes.
We publish quarterly and then as needed. So
yeah. Let me ask you this. I remember when Motown left, everybody was a little kind of sad about that. But like you say, we held on to a lot of the artists and the music giants. What do you see in the renaissance again of our city coming back as far as entertainment in the major venues? I mean, we're getting somewhat past this pandemic situation where we can get back to in-person and doing more concerts and public appearances and all that kind of thing. How do you rate Detroit among the musical cities when it comes to our orchestra, our music entertainment, and the action that's going on? We got Little Caesars Arena concerts going on, Fox, like you mentioned, all the other venues. I mean, is Detroit getting back to that notoriety like we once had?
Yeah, we're a major stop here, you know, and as
Yeah,
long as people can stay healthy and
yeah,
and enjoy the concerts. Yeah, I've played at Little Caesars a couple times, and I've got one coming up here in October. And I
yeah,
hope to do it, you know.
yeah,
I see us as one of the major players here, and there are recording studios. I just got to get a lot of these people to come back and start filing their stuff, you know.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
They like to record. So today in the recording situation, almost anybody can do one in their house. You know,
Right.
the equipment is so portable now, you know. But
Yeah.
that, and we also have some contracts that I'm not real familiar with, but down in Nashville, our friend in Nashville has developed a contract where once you record something, you can go ahead and put it through the AFM, and it's called a per use, some sort of per use contract, so it can be covered. So if it does get picked up, you can get the benefits off that recording and not, you know, not just be liable to say, oh, I never got anything for it, you know, as long as you file this paperwork. So that one I have to do
Yeah.
a little more homework on, but it sounds like a good thing because in Nashville, obviously they've got, you know, that's what they do down there. So.
Yeah. Well, let me ask you this. Does the Federation offer periodic during the year, like educational classes with the music industry now that we looking at the music industry a whole nother way, as far as this technology? I mean, is there anything that the union is doing on that level?
We haven't done anything because, you know, after being closed from COVID and that, but that doesn't mean we're not receptive to trying something. We were hosting workshops here for various things prior to the pandemic for things that would interest musicians, like hearing clinics and stuff like that. We had a couple of those going. So what we do mostly is refer, you know, the colleges are offering good music business classes now too. So we'll help with the introductions. I know I've spoke at Wayne State recently, again, I keep going back to pre-pandemic, but I talked to a
Mhm.
couple classes down there, music business classes of what
Yeah,
people needed to do when they got into the music business, you know.
yeah, yeah, yeah. Those are so important now because what I'm seeing, even on the gospel side, it's a lot of independent artists now. I mean, they're popping up
Oh yeah,
everywhere.
yeah.
I mean, every week I'm looking on Facebook, they got projects. Here's coming soon, the new single. They get back to doing singles now, and then with iTunes and Spotify and Apple Music. I mean, all of these outlets, man, it's phenomenal. And I was kind of nervous because I was like, okay, you know, we used to doing 10, 15 songs, and along with the internet radio stations, which is another thing uh, that I wanted to ask you about, because I noticed in the last 10, 15 years or so, a lot of the radio stations being bought up by the big boys, the big networks,
Yes. Hmm.
and everything is digital now. And I know I was at a radio station here. I won't call their call letters, but and they were interviewing me about something. I was like, hey, this is a whole nother world, you know. And then they got the new young guys in there who are not familiar with the old stuff, the old hits, and everything has got to be computerized and got to put it in. They got these playlists. You got to make the playlist for real. I came up in the day as a kid where you could go in and talk to the disc jockey, you know, and
Right,
they
right.
they could just spin, you know, records as they got them. If they liked them, then they was gonna put you on the turntable. But now they got the traffic department, and before the engineer even get the song, it's already been loaded into the computer.
Oh,
And
absolutely, yeah. So
yeah,
like
and
sound bites.
yeah, I mean
Correct.
it's a whole nother world.
You know, a quick fix there, I would just direct you to YouTube and type your question in, and that pretty much helps you right then and there, you know.
Yeah, man, it's a whole nother world. And but what I'm glad to see that the unions, the writers unions are on top of some things now. BMI, ASCAP, and CSAC and those guys, even with YouTube, to make sure these writers or us writers can get something out of this stuff. Because man, uh, I'm looking at YouTube, everybody's music is on there.
Yeah, I agree.
You
I
know,
agree.
not only their music, but their music videos and all of the, all you gotta do is grab and copy the link and put it on your page. I'm like, wow,
Absolutely.
it's
No, I agree.
amazing.
I agree.
It's amazing. So now what you say you got something coming up at Little Caesars yourself
Yeah,
in
right.
October. And so how did you get that job?
Okay, we have some of the main people that book our theaters are contractors, musical contractors.
Okay.
And a contractor called me, and pre-pandemic, we had the Who play there, and I played in the orchestra for that. So he got that job again. So he called and said, they're coming back in October. Can you do it? And I enjoyed that. The Who was a rock
Yeah.
group that was popular in the 60s and 70s. That's still out there. I call it the nostalgia circuit. So
Yeah. That's what I love about music. It's happening the same way with us in gospel. A lot of the newer artists are trying to grab the old stuff, and they might, add some orchestration or
right.
a new beat or whatever. But it's phenomenal how a lot of this music has such longevity, as well as getting into commercials and as well as movies. It's a whole new day, which I'm excited about it because it gives music worldwide and all genres an opportunity to live again over and over and over. I was watching something the other day, and I never knew the depth of the Four Tops. When you mentioned them, I thought the Four Tops music, and then I watch the PBS stations, how they have all of these wonderful classic specials about music of yesterday. I mean, some of everybody you can mention from the 60s, the 70s, the 80s, the good old pop music, love songs, and I was just blown away. I said, man, you sit up there and watch 4 and 5 hours straight, nothing but good back-to-back classical gospel or classical R&B, and it's phenomenal. Now, have you ever been involved in any of those documentary type programs?
Well, the one PBS that we filmed here in Detroit was, I think, 2011. We did it at the Motor City Soundboard. It was with Neil McCoy, and I was part of the Les Brown Band. That was the local guys that were in it, and it was a PBS special. And he had Charlie Pride on there, and Jenny Freaky were the guests on that. And occasionally that was released on a CD and also a DVD. And that's where your union membership helps you out, because each one of those types of media has its own terms for usage, okay? That you just don't cut it once for a recording. You mentioned a lot of the stuff is being reused. One of my jobs is fishing out a lot of these contracts when one of maybe the Four Tops, their song gets used on a commercial or something. I make sure that everybody's compensated for that. So I usually find the contract and send it along, or if it's reused in a movie too. So that's an extra use. We call it a new use for the project.
Yeah.
I
was blessed and fortunate. My first experience of that kind a few years ago when they did the Chrysler 200 with Eminem,
Ah,
and
okay.
and they use the. I had a chance to work with Lewis, that does Eminem's beats. We were in the studio. I was working on something else in the studio, and he heard me in the studio, and they recorded with a gospel choir that "Lose Yourself."
Yeah, I remember that. Was that
That
Louis
was
Resto? Was that the Louis you're talking
yeah,
about?
yeah,
Yeah, he's
yeah.
one of my members. Yeah.
Yes, yes.
Yes, he
And he
is.
heard me in there on the organ, so he invited me to do a piece of the intro. Oh man, I that was a wonderful experience.
Well, good for
Thank
you.
God I was in the union, cause
Yeah, you got some fame there. Good for you.
yeah, and got a chance to be on the commercial. They shot me down at we filmed at Masonic Temple.
Yeah, I remember that commercial. I do.
Yeah,
It got a
it
lot
was
of
nice.
play. Yeah, in the golden days, I did a lot of work for auto companies. They used to do a lot of their commercials here, and
Yeah,
even industrial films. I remember playing scores when the star of the thing was a tractor. Okay,
yeah, yeah.
and we'd play the music for this tractor coming over, rocks and stuff. Uh, that today is mostly they usually go to a catalog now for that stuff, but
Yeah, man.
once upon a time, that was well, a lot of people were doing that work here in Detroit.
Yeah, doing the line work. I had a friend that worked also at Ross Roy.
Ah, okay, yeah, I did work for them
Yeah,
too.
when they were on Jefferson, Larry, he's since gone on, passed on, but they would tell us about a lot of things that were coming up, and we had opportunity to do that. But yeah, when I think about it, I said the union, we've got residual for quite a little while
Oh, I bet. Yeah.
off that particular Chrysler 200 piece. It was so naturally I told Lewis, call me again.
Yeah. Yeah,
Anytime.
he's a good guy.
Yeah, yeah. Great, great, great. I enjoyed that experience. Yeah. So talk to us about, especially those that might be listening who are in music and the new kids on the block that might be getting into music, uh, how you would suggest if they're really serious about a total musical career to become a part of the union, you know.
Okay, well, if they're that into it and whatever, then they obviously they've studied whatever they're doing and they know what they're doing. So when they put their stuff out there that they get hired, they can perform at whatever level they need to perform. I usually direct them to our website and say, look at the website, see
Yeah.
what's there, see if you fit in. Occasionally I'll get somebody who's just they bought a clarinet or something and they think right away they're ready to go, and it's not that simple. You could end up in a situation where you don't know what's going on. So uh, the way we recommend to contractors, you kind of build on your reputation by playing here and there and what you've listed. So I start them with the website or come in. We have pamphlets here. We can give you what's called a prospective membership packet, and we'll explain to you what it is, because it's not a free organization. You have to pay dues to be in it, and they're yearly dues that we charge, and the federation makes us charge that because we have to pay a certain amount to the national for that membership for whatever it is, just to keep that person. They get an insurance policy with us, a death policy, because like I told you at the beginning, we were a burial society. So there's a little bit of money there at the end if your family needs it. And you'd be surprised at the families that have needed that money.
Yeah.
So that's one of the benefits that's there. But we want to make sure if we send you to somebody that hires you, that it's going to be a good experience for everybody.
Right, right. Now, recently, uh, there was some outside benefactors like insurance companies wanting to partner with the federation. Something I got a call
Yeah, we
saying that,
have, that's an extra policy, and you're
right,
you're automatically covered by that insurance company, American Income Life. But what that is an accidental death and dismemberment policy. So we
Yeah.
hope you don't see it. But
Yeah.
if you do, again, the families that have benefited from them, and we've had a few that benefit, they get that extra money that the policy carries. We hate to see anybody have to use that though, but that's a free thing. They're calling you to see if you want some even extra insurance and stuff like that.
Right.
And they're a union-backed company and everything, but we don't pay for that. That's like it's a recommended company that if you want to buy an extra life insurance policy, it's a little more reputable than I'd say what you see on TV, them trying to sell you everything for $9.95, So.
Yeah. I've noticed also in the magazine, the monthly, that there are educational programs, there are possibilities for those that want to continue in music education. They talk about different kinds of scholarships and all of the like. It's just packed with information. It's
Right.
how if you want to be a musician on a cruise, if you want to relocate somewhere. I saw all kinds of different opportunities that other orchestras and other cities were looking for.
Yes.
Musicians, and there were a lot of positions open.
Their contracts specify that they have to have a national search for those jobs. And that's where they're posted in our international musician.
Yeah. It's awesome. It's awesome.
Right.
Now, how does one qualify for the cover? Because I see a lot of diverse musicians who appear on the covers.
Yeah, you have to pretty much, they call you. They keep an eye on what you're doing, and they'll reach out to you. We've had a couple of our members recently be on the cover. I believe, the young lady, she plays viola.
Yeah.
And, she works a lot of our theaters and things. And she was featured in December. Leslie DeShazer. And she's also, when Stevie Wonder comes to town, he likes to hire her to get string players for him. So she's a contractor too. So just by her work that she's done in our local, they saw what she was doing, and they came out and approached her and interviewed her and did the spread on her. You can't just write a little thing saying, I want to be on the cover. And their editorial, however they run the thing, reaches out to you. So.
Great. Well, man, this is great information. And so give the website again.
Okay, it's all one word and it's lowercase, DetroitMusicians.net.
All right.
And if you go to the title page there, it'll link you right up with our referral site page. You click on that and it'll take you into the referral site and show you the people that are listed there. They've got their whole bios. In fact, they've got sound clips if you go into each one's file. And then there's a form if you want to hire them, and you just send the form in and we process it. You put the date that you want to hire them and what it is. And our referral agent will call you and get back and see if the person is available and if you want her to drop the contract and that. So.
Yeah. Now, they also allow, if you want to place an ad or pay a fee to let people know you're for hire, they got that feature still, right?
Yeah. If you join any listing on that referral site is free with your membership here.
Okay.
Now, if you want to run something special in our keynote, we give you a rate on that. The keynote is is quarterly, and it depends on what you're doing. Like let's say you have an old piano you want to sell. We give you a pretty good rate on advertising it to our membership in Detroit. And I should also tell you too that we usually forward our quarterly magazine out to the other locals, so it's seen all around the country. And if somebody sees something, that it's not unusual for them to contact us or our people if it's something they're interested in. So.
Oh, great, great. So they're allowed to advertise events as well.
Yeah, I don't, it's depending on the event. We don't have too much of that. We can get you listed if it's a contracted event. We have a coming, if you notice, the theaters, they usually run what show is going to be playing or whatever. Those are all contracted events.
Right.
So if it is, and you want it advertised, today, probably Facebook. We also have a Facebook page too, by the way, which is the best way, I think, to advertise these days.
Yeah.
Detroit Federation of Musicians, Local 5. And I usually I'll post events and deaths and things like that on there right away when they happen. So.
Okay, great, great. Wow, man, this has been great, and I think we've covered just about everything. I just want to encourage the members, also, especially those who are not members. Let me take that back. Not the members. Some members are already in, but those who are seeking membership, if they want information about, well, what's the phone number again? I know I got it.
It's 248
Yeah.
569 5400. And we own the building at, it's on the Southfield. It's 20833 Southfield Road, just north of 8 Mile. It's a white building, and we're open Monday through Friday, 10 to 4.
Yes, indeed. All righty, all righty. Well,
Okay.
listen, this has been great. Appreciate your time. Now, I guess when we can really get back out like we want to, I know our group, we're going to be doing some, not only online, but some in-person type workshops. And I'll be contacting you because we want to include, again, the information on the Federation to give people the option to consider membership. Yes, we want to make sure we keep that ever before them. Yes, this has really been great. Now, those of you that will see this, listen, you can also contact me if you want information. If you missed anything, we'll certainly get you the information at Fellowship of Music and Arts. This will be up on YouTube and our pages on Facebook for this information. So we're looking forward to sharing that with you. All right, Mr. Troy, anything else you can think of that we might have missed?
Well, you got me pretty good, I think. So
Great.
stay healthy and stay well to
Yes, sir.
enjoy
Yes,
ourselves out there. So.
yes, sir. Well, listen, friends, we thank you for joining us. Again, thank you, Mr. Troia, and we'll stay in touch and make sure I'm going to talk to my crew and get them involved. We're going to do a special thing on Zoom as a follow-up with this. And hopefully we can get some more soldiers listed on and list them and become a part of the Federation of Musicians. Okay?
Okay, great.
All right. Thank you again, and stay well, stay safe.
You're welcome. Thanks,
right.
Bishop.
Thank you. We want to thank everybody for joining. That was Mr. George Troia. And of course, contact him at 248-569-5400. And again, they're located at 20833 Southfield, right there at 8 Mile. You can't miss it. White building right there on the corner there. And then, of course, the Detroit Federation of Musicians, the Local 5, DetroitMusicians.net. One word, DetroitMusicians.net. And you can also find them on Facebook. All right. So thank you all for joining, and we look forward to our next time together right here on the Spotlight on Music. Until then, Bishop Andre Wood saying, I command the blessings of the Lord to overtake you till we share again. God bless you.